I'd like to call to order the College Park Business and Industrial Development Authority meeting at 6:32. And first, I would like for Dr. Bomalani to please Jacques to do the prayer. Yes, please.
Everything that God loves, when you bring everything that you have and speak to God in prayer, God will fix it for you so that no weapon formed against BIDA shall prosper, so that all things will work out for the good of BIDA. I stretch my hand out to God, and I ask God to use my hand to show me how to pray and to show me who to pray for in this room.
Thank you, Lord.
And I start with my thumb, the closest finger to my heart. It tells me to pray for those I love, my family and my friends. And then my pointer. It reminds me of pointing the way, reminding me to pray for those that guide us on this journey, our parents, our teachers, our preachers, our coaches and trainers. And then the middle finger, the tallest finger of them all, remind me to pray for leadership, mayor and council, chair and vice chair of BIDA, board members of BIDA, and all of the community leaders in this room and business owners in this room. And then the ring finger, the weakest finger of them all, remind me to pray for those who need help. The least, the lost, the left out, the hungry, the homeless. We pray for them together. And then the pinky finger, the smallest finger of them all, remind me to pray for the smallest one in the room. Pray for me. We say thank you, Lord, for allowing the hearers in this room to receive your blessing so that they will know that you will always be by their side, that whatever they do, you will protect them and guide them every step of the way, every way, and every day. We pray for the hearers in this room, that they will receive the knowledge and knowing that God will touch their heart and allow them to feel the tender, deep, abiding love that only God can bless in your heart. And then, Lord, anoint their ears so they will hear you, Lord, in their business tonight. So they will hear the forgiveness, the mercy, and then anoint their eyes, Lord, on the board of BIDA. Anoint their eyes, the business owner, the community. Anoint their eyes, Inspire. Anoint their eyes, Lord, so they will see you and each other. They will see your forgiveness, your compassion, your mercy, and your love. And then the work that get done in this room tonight, Lord, will be done for the good, be done for the greater goods, and all of those will come together in the spirit of BIDA to carry out BIDA mission to realize and bring to life the goal of the city of College Park, a vibrant, beautiful city upon the hill called College Park. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to carry out the mission and the business of BIDA tonight. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Hannah, would you handle the roll call, please?
Chairwoman Subrenia Willis.
Present.
Vice Chair Joe Karn.
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Julian Reasonover.
Present.
Board Member Tracy Wyatt.
Present.
Board Member Celissa Jefferson. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Could you ask all other staff and visitors to introduce themselves?
Yes,
And who they
starting
with too?
start from the right side.
Did you call Mayor Motley Broom?
Oh, my apologies, Mayor Motley Broom. We still have a quorum.
Thank you.
So starting from the right side, all of the guests can introduce themselves, please. Thank you.
Business owner next level team on Main Street. We finance commercial property and we sell 501c3s, nonprofit, LLCs. That's what we do for a living. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eleanor Tell. I'm representing Inspire Placemaking Collective tonight, and we are the consultant that is supporting with our comprehensive plan. I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now? Okay. My name's Eleanor Ortel, and I'm with Inspire Placemaking Collective. We are the consultant supporting the comprehensive plan.
Good evening, everyone. Jacques Garcia, Program Manager for Economic Development, Clearly College Park.
Hi, everyone. Assistant Secretary Treasurer of BIDA, Hannah Diogan.
Michael Hicks, City Manager, City of College Park.
Benjamin Crespi with PMG.
Richard Breedlove with Dovetail Civil Design.
Rex Willis, RSW and Faber House.
Louise Harris, resident of City of College Park, forever parent of Faber House.
Just hear your name.
David Attardi, Wyndham Hotels and Resorts.
Sherry Ong from Good Places Development.
Queenie Brown, City of College Park.
Thank you.
IKEA Willis, College Park resident.
Shanice Willis Lewis, resident and business owner.
Lorenzo Weich, member of CPMSA, the board, the Main Street Business Association, representing 100% of our business owners, merchants, and property owners on Main Street downtown. I'm here on behalf of our board and our board chair.
Thank you. And that's all of our guests.
Next, we'll have any additions, deletions, or amendments to the agenda. If there's none, next we'll have approval of the agenda. All in favor?
March 11th or both of them?
We're doing the agenda. Approval of the agenda.
Motion.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor by the raising of hands? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, agenda passes. Next, we have the approval of the minutes of the March 11th minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Yeah, no, okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Approval of the March 11th minutes passed.
I'm sorry, Mr. White, what was your vote?
For the March 11th.
Approval. Okay, got it. Thank you.
And I want to announce that our attorney is here.
Okay.
Will you announce yourself, Attorney Wiley?
LaTanya Wiley, by the council.
Okay,
Madam Chair, a question.
yes.
Do we still have a remote stenographer?
Yes, she's
Okay.
online.
Okay, so should the board sound out there so that the
Yes,
stenographer
let's
can
do
know
that. Yes, so
whether
we'll
they
make
raise
sure
their hand?
that, okay.
Just a thought.
Yes, because that'll make sure that she knows
Yes.
and has everything. Okay,
Sounds good.
Thank you.
okay, next, do we need to go back over and do those?
No.
Okay, we'll go ahead. Okay, next we have approval of the May 13th meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So the motion was made by Julie reading over, the second by Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Joe Carr. That's correct?
No, you talking about for the last meeting minutes?
No.
For May
for
13th.
May 13th.
May 13th, no, motion was made by him.
Okay, so, yeah.
Yes,
motion.
so,
He still wants to announce our name when we make the motion.
Okay.
so Vice Chair Karn motioned, Secretary Treasurer Reasonover seconded.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
So Member
Okay.
Tracy Wyatt, Chair Willis, Mr. Reasonover, and Vice Chair Karn all voted in favor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you. Next we'll have old business. We have PMG update on 6 West by Ben Crespi.
How are you? We gave a jump drive. I don't know if you can pull it up on the big screen. There you go. So, and are there two PDFs, one with the walls and one without? Can you go to the next PDF? There you go. Oh, maybe a little bigger would be good. Perfect. So a quick update from where we were to where we are now and where we're going in our timelines. You know, when we initially submitted, we were close to 900 units. I think about 700 or so rental units and about 200 for sale. I think of the 200 for sale, about 25 were single family. We had, I think, 3 town halls last year. And we submitted and where we're at now is, taking into account what the folks said last year, we've cut our scope by about half, or about 40%. We're down from 700 apartments down to about 350. And we've increased single-family homes. And I'll never forget, Tracy, you were worried that we weren't going to build the 25 homes and do all apartments. We're now doing 115 starter homes, all detached, and 131 single-family homes. So in total, we have about 250 detached single-family homes and 300 apartments, which is about, I think, 550 total units. And we can walk through how that lays out on the site in a moment. In terms of where we've been in the past 6 months and where we'd like to be in the next 6 months, on October 8th of last year, we submitted our site plan for review and approval. We resubmitted it again on November 10th, a month later. On April 20th, about 4 or 5 months later, we received staff review and comments. And their recommendation of the staff of the city planner was to proceed to the planning board for a vote. Since then, we've, with the city's comments coming, it was actually May 1st, or end of April. With the city's comments, that allowed us to proceed and kind of tie up the site and get pricing. Right now, as we stand, oh, by the way, this is my civil engineer. This is Richard, and he's with Dovetail Engineering. Our goal has always been to close and break ground by the end of this year. Right now, we are 45% complete with our civil design. We would like to submit our site plan for approval by the planning board and then the city council in July. We would like to submit our civil plans for LDP review and approval in August. I believe it'll take, a month or two to finalize our civil design. So we're about 2 months out from completing our civil design, which will be submitted in August. We'd like to have our LDP approved in September, and then we have to close within 60 days, which puts us closing in November, December, and we would simultaneously, when we close, we would break ground. That's where we sit today. I'm going to turn real quick. I don't have a laser. The project's broken into 3 components. Hello? The project's broken into 3 components. In the bottom right, over here, in this quadrant, still is and always has been the multifamily. Right now, we have 320 garden-style apartments. To the west, kind of surrounding the Brady Center, are starter homes. These are about 1,500 to 1,800 foot freestanding, detached, 3-story single-family homes. To the west of the property, then hugging up and around, is 131 what we call move-up homes. These are around 22 to 2,400 square feet, and we have 131. One of the challenges that we wanted to discuss with you today with you is keeping the Brady Center in the square of the property at the high point of the property has created a significant amount of retaining wall and cost overruns for our project. Right now, Richard, how many linear feet of wall would you say we have, or ish?
A lot. Yeah, I'm not sure what the final count was on that. I think, it's in the thousands. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of walls. It's not just the length, but also the height.
Yes.
Just in transitioning grades. On this drawing that you see, the red numbers, that's the existing topography as it exists today. The Brady Center in the middle is kind of the high point, so that's sort of the top of the mountain. And that has an elevation of 1,003 feet above sea level. The road along the bottom is kind of a fixed point. You see those are in the 900s. And then around the top and I guess the northwest all the way to northeast, there's a stream there.
Hey,
Those
Richard.
are
Richard,
910, 890. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, there's a pointer. There we go.
excuse me, Richard. Could you kind of start
sorry?
again so we can, he has the pointer now, so we can.
Oh, yeah, sure. There we go. Thank you. So the Brady Center in the middle, if we're keeping this, then that becomes the fixed point at 1,003 feet above sea level. The stream that kind of wraps the site along the top, we can't get into that buffer. So these numbers you see, that's existing elevation. And then the street here, this is a fixed point as well. So these are our constraints as we go into the 3-dimensional design of this site. The worst spot is through this area. We've got 1,003 dropping down to about an 890. So there's over 100 feet of fall between this Brady Center building and the stream buffer through this area. So as we go in and we're trying to get as much density as we can, obviously these houses are much closer together because we're trying to squeeze them all in. We've got the roads, we've got certain constraints we need to meet on the road from transportation requirements, fire requirements. And so as we come down and drop just as fast as we can, we still can't quite catch up to grade. And so the red you see here, these are retaining walls. There's a pond at the top, a pond here, a pond there. Those are concrete walls because they have to be waterproof. Everything else you see, this is a modular block wall and it's designed to hold back dirt. The concrete walls are designed to hold back water. So we kind of have those no matter what, because from a stormwater management standpoint, we're chasing volume. We're trying to meet all the code requirements for stormwater management. Everything else is just us trying to catch up with grade based on the existing topography on site. So low points all the way around the perimeter and a high point right here in the middle. So right now today, that's what we're working on is the 3-dimensional design to get the grading in and the stormwater and the sewer and make all of that work.
So the consequence of all these retaining walls, which is really a function of keeping the Brady at the high point of the site, is millions upon millions of dollars of retaining walls. And these are cost overruns for us. So for discussion, what we wanted to put in front of the city and, well, city, BIDA and potentially city council who owns the Brady Center, is that instead of coming back to the city and saying we need a price reduction to offset these costs, what we'd like to do is propose for discussion that if the Brady was to be removed and put slightly south, we'd actually look to increase our purchase price with you. If the purchase price increase would be generated from savings to us, and that increased purchase price of phase 1 would fund the replacement of the Brady. So we'd like to increase our purchase price of the contract. If I can just get a quick motion of a yes, that would be great.
I'll allow my board members to weigh in on that. We'll start first with Mr. Wyatt.
Didn't come prepared to say very much this evening, but
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
so I didn't come prepared to say a whole lot this evening, but I'll respond. So first of all, as a member of BIDA, I want to be very careful that we stay in our lane. So I don't feel comfortable discussing anything that has to do with the Brady Center because we don't own the Brady Center. The city does. So it's my opinion that any conversation concerning the Brady Center should be addressed with the mayor and council.
We don't disagree. We think it's probably both, BIDA and the city council, we understand the roles, so we respect that, and we would approach city council. We want, because our relationship is first with you, we just want to know where our head's at. And again, if this was to go forward, we would increase our contract with you, and that would generate additional funds for a new center.
Okay, well, thank you. That's my comment, Chair. I just want to hope that this board be very cautious. Even though we haven't been given the same respect, I'm going to respect the city and what they own. And until the city gives me some direction, I have nothing to say.
Okay, we do have two members of the council here, actually on our board, and I'm going to refer to our mayor first, since she's here, and maybe she can give some, no direction? No comment? Okay. Councilman Carr?
All right, how you doing?
Nice to see you, sir.
All right. I'm looking at the current density that you have up there. And I remember the previous map last year that it had more units than that. And I said to myself, man, this is pretty crowded. And I think the most dense map was 800, 900 units or so, right?
It was, yeah, and that was driven because you see right here, this part of the site, which probably takes up about maybe 20% of the site. Right now it's providing about 50% of the units because these are 3, 4 story, I forget if they're 3 or 4 story. These are 3, 4 story multifamily. So you're able to get much higher density on these rental units. So last year or a year and a half ago, we had about double this. I think we had apartments down here actually as well. So we pulled the multifamily out from here, and that was in response to, I think we had 3 or 4 town halls, and what we heard almost on a unanimous basis was College Park has 70% plus or minus rentals. We want more homes. Right. We want more starter homes. We want more young families in College Park.
Right, I remember that. What's your spacing between the homes, between the lots?
The spacing in between the lots,
Density, yeah.
I think it's 10 feet in between, 10, 15 feet.
Okay. Well, I'd love to get an exact number. You know, we had a subdivision right before I got here that was very close density as well. And the other question.
And they all have driveways and garages, I should say.
All right.
Every single family has a garage, 2-car garage, I believe, and driveway.
2-car garage, you say? So 2 bays side by side?
Yes, sir. 2-car garage, 2 cars in the driveway, and the houses are at least 10 feet apart.
So what's like an average lot size width?
Those are, it's on, if you switch to the previous PDF, you can see it on there, maybe a little bit better. So, yeah, the block on the left, 40 by 100
Okay.
is the lot size for those. Yeah, it's hard to see on there, I'm sorry. 40 by 100.
And you mentioned about Brady, the Brady Center possibly moving south.
Well, Yeah, we updated this master plan to get everything to fit as well as we could two-dimensionally with the thought of how we would grade it and all that. Now that everybody seems good with this, now we're moving forward with our engineering design, looking at it three-dimensionally. And the Brady Center in the middle of the site is the high point. So as we try to go from that high point to tie into the existing grades around the site, we can't catch up with them, and that's where the walls come from. We're going down as steep as we can through the hills, through the road, through the lots. And then whatever's left over, the wall has to make up the difference there, and that's getting expensive.
Okay. All right, I think that's all the questions I had. You mentioned an increase possibly in pricing.
You're saying price points of the homes?
Well, I'd like to know that too, I guess. What would they be?
What was the question? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Well, since you touched on price point of the homes, I thought I heard you mention an increase in terms of an offer price totally, possibly.
I think we would come back to you and say, this is the burden, or this is the additional cost of all these walls. If the walls went away, this is the savings, and we would split that with you. And that would increase and we would apply, and we would give that to you in an increased purchase contract with you. So if the savings was hypothetically $5 million, we would increase the purchase price by $2.5 million on the first phase, which would be a 25% increase in the contract, the BIDA.
Oh, we always try to practice what's called ward courtesy. This project is not in my ward. I think it's a worthy project, and I'd love to see it, start turning dirt over there. But I'd like to, from the councilwoman over there as well, to see what's her feel on it. But,
and we'd be happy to make ourselves available for a meeting with Councilwoman McKenzie as soon as next week. And again, our thought is, rather than coming back and saying we have cost overruns, we want to reduce the contract, we're actually trying to find a way where we took the opposite approach. We actually want to pay you more. And we think it could be a win-win, and we look forward to continuing those discussions.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, Mayor.
I think any discussion surrounding the Brady Center needs to be one that's inclusive of our entire community. To Board Member Wyatt's point, conversation with the council, and also just stakeholders. We've heard from our stakeholders varying things about it, but if we've got changes, then I think we should go back and continue to talk with our community about it and where things are now. So the presentation that we're hearing this evening should be one that is formally presented to our community as well to get their input.
And look, the last time we had a town hall with the community, well, the result was a direct impact on cutting the scope by 40% and increasing the single-family homes tenfold. And so I think we're very responsive, and I think we have a good relation with the community. We look forward to that dialogue.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
I wasn't
Mr.
aware. I thought the question was specifically to the Brady Center. Were you asking us to ask all our questions? Or I thought we were specifically on the Brady Center.
Right now, we were just asking about the Brady Center.
Okay, because I do have other questions, but.
Okay, we'll do those.
That's what I
too.
thought. Okay.
Yes, this is specifically for the Brady Center, because we trying to give him direction. Yes, Ms. Jefferson. Sorry, Board Member Jefferson.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Richard. Hi. So, Ben, my question is, based on the historic significance of the Brady Center and with the city, two questions. When do I hear you say move, and then I hear you say replace? So will your replacement be in like kind?
In like kind in terms of size and scope?
Correct.
I think it would be an improvement. It would take what makes a Brady great right now and improve upon that. So a new facility would have a basketball arena, but it would also have a weight room potentially. You could have an outdoor pool potentially. I think there's a lot of uses that I think the Brady was built in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And, in the past 60, 70 years, I think the needs of the community center have evolved. They haven't totally changed, but they've evolved. So I think we say, here's what is working, and this is what makes the Brady Center so great, and here's needs that the new community wants. For example, we've heard weight rooms. We've heard yoga rooms. We've heard a pool. So we've heard a lot of amenities that we think we would propose adding to that program.
Okay, well, I think I was more specifically like referencing the historic build out of the building in itself, the brick, it being in a historic building itself, the way it's built. So are you, when you say replace, are you saying a tear down? Or are you saying adding on to make those enhancements and those improvements, or totally replacing?
It would be a new facility. It would be a new facility.
It would be a new facility. Okay.
And I think we can come back with ideas on how to preserve the legacy of the building.
Correct.
And there's lots of ways we can do that.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, as far as the access, because it's community as well as your community that you're building, it will be accessible for the entire city.
Correct.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
We actually think we can improve the accessibility, and we have different sensitivities that we can show you.
Got it.
But yeah, right now, you have this existing facility that's in the middle of a brand new development that's kind of isolating. So again, we think if we shift it slightly south, that will, and it's closer to the future phase, whatever you want to call the development to the south. Yeah, I think there's lots of benefits from an accessibility standpoint.
So to that point, when you say that, when will, say if the city decides to go with it, what were your preliminary plans on the phase completion of it? Are you going to do it in the beginning? Or are you going to do, okay,
It would minimize any downtime.
got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other, do you have anything you want to say? Okay.
Yes, I do, but it's not pertaining to Brady Center.
Okay, we're on the Brady Center. Okay, and Mr. Hicks,
Yes,
you have something to say about the
Madam Chair, I do have a couple of comments. Just to strengthen the sentiments of what the mayor said about getting the community involved. I'm extremely sentimental when it comes to Brady, because I played there as a kid. And to me, that's hallowed sacred ground. And we spent a lot of money in renovating Brady. Just recently, our rec department put a lot of money into renovating Brady. The second school of thought is we're trying to preserve what we call monuments and buildings around the city. We've got two groups, PHOA, and then we've got 1 square mile. And both of those groups are very sensitive about what we're gonna do in the city when it comes to some of our sacred areas. So I personally would recommend that being your group come up with another rendition around the Brady Center.
Okay. Okay, we'll go on to the, we finished with concerning the Brady Center. And then we want to ask about the plan.
So, so Mr. Crespi, hello again.
And nice to see you again.
I'm new to the board, so I'm kind of catching up on this project. Is there a picture or a model that can be viewed as to what this would look, as to what this finished product would look like?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the renderings with me. I don't have my laptop, but I can follow up to the members of the board with renderings.
Would you please?
Yeah, not a problem.
Thank you.
The 2000 to the 22 to 2400, the move-up homes, those are 2-story, I believe. And the starter homes that right now surround the Brady, those are 3-story. A variety of finishes, look and feel. Again, 2-car garage for every home, backyard, side yard. 2 and 3 story, and a diversity of the product, so it doesn't look like the Truman Show where every house is the same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wyatt.
Hey, thanks, man, for coming again. I appreciate seeing you, and I know the Knicks are, I believe, playing tonight, so you can give me the short answers. What's the price of the starter homes? Somebody asked, Joe asked that, but I didn't, Mayor Pro Tem Carn asked that, but I didn't quite get it.
What was what was the question?
What's the price of the starter homes?
The price on the starter homes, I would say in the low 400s.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so you talked about closing maybe in November, but am I correct in saying that this thing was supposed to close last November?
I don't recall the old schedule, but again, we submitted our site plan for approval in the fall of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we got staff comments and a recommendation to go to the planning board 6 months later.
Okay.
7 months later, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll with that because our city manager is here. And if he says nothing to the contrary, then okay, but.
Well, I think the city manager's been great, because, look, in the beginning, there was a shortfall and a breakdown in dialogue that I think we've addressed.
Because last time you was here, you had a site plan, you said was submitted. But I'm gonna move on from that, because what you said was late, but I just remember, and I understand the new ones, but I don't want everybody to understand that, at least I believe, this thing is a year behind schedule based on your new closing time. I really, really, really would like to get this project done, Ben. And I know we got city stuff going on. I get it. I'm just saying, I really, really don't want to go into next year with this project.
Then neither do we.
So that's not the Brady Center. I'm gonna stay away from. Councilman Corn asked a question about how close are the houses. He said 10 to 15 feet. Ben, you got a diagram. You got to know how far apart they are. They either 10 or they 15.
No, it varies, I believe.
10 is not. I mean, at 10 feet, I can probably reach out, and my neighbor reach out, and we can grab hands.
Well, again, we were taking into account the comments that the community wanted to see more for sale products.
Okay.
Again, these are sorry.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that meant stack them on top of each other. But I'm not gonna. I'm a kind of gentle man these days. I don't like that. That doesn't sound good to me. But I'm not finna raise sand about it. I just want everybody to know 10 feet. I can look out my window and into your window and see what you're doing in your house. Just
neighborhood protection.
Just folks want to know that. So I didn't understand the split. That's my last question. Well, I got two of them. I didn't understand the 2.5 million split. I'm confused about that. Help me understand that. And I had one other question, and I'll shut up.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, if moving the Brady generated, and we don't have this number, I'm just using whole numbers for discussion, that in the event that moving the Brady Center reduced site work, right now what we're facing is our site work costs are coming in very high.
Okay.
And we have a budget bust. So if the Brady was moved and hypothetically generated $5 of savings, we would split that with you and give you an extra $2.50.
Okay.
But again, right now, what we're anticipating is that if the Brady was relocated, there'd be millions upon millions of dollars of savings that we would split with you.
That's a hypothetical. Okay, gotcha. And that's something I'll mayor and the mayor pro tem and the city manager, as I've said, I'll leave that in their hands. My last question.
And we have a ballpark on that number, but we wanted to have the discussion with you first so we can sharpen our pencil and come back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Last question. The mayor and several other members talked about having a conversation with the community about the Brady Center. I thought we've done that on multiple occasions already.
No.
Unless this is something new. But I just think at some point, we need to try to finalize all the rest of the part of the project, if not that. But we had charrettes over there, I know. And so I'm not sure how many times we need to go back to the community and hold this project up, unless this is something totally new.
No, this would be new. When PMG, when we schedule the charrettes, we focused on design, amenities, and unit layout. We've never had a meeting, or we never scheduled a meeting and shared our ideas with the community.
About the Brady Center.
Correct. Last year, we presented some scenarios on what that could look like, but we PMG, together with BIDA and the city, actually never met with the community about the Brady Center and the realm of possibilities.
Ben, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming, and I just look forward to working with you and this board, and hopefully this year this project will close. We won't be here in 2027 talking about any more changes to the site plan or anything of that nature. So, Madam Chair, I yield.
Okay. Anyone else? I just want to say, being PMG, thank you all for I think we're getting it right, for us, everything that you all need to get done to move everything forward. But just want to say thank you all for being patient also with us too.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. And I think one of the strengths of our company is we're nimble and we're flexible and we're dynamic to the market changes. And from where we propose to where we are today, it really is a reflection of what we all think is best for the community. And it was because we met with the community last year. And again, 250 freestanding homes versus 25 from where we were when we started.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Go next.
Okay, next we'll have report from the GICC Arena Golf Course update. Mr. Barn is not here, but he did send a package for us to review, so you all have that in your package. If you have any questions, if not, we'll move on. Next, we'll have a comprehensive plan update by Inspire Placemaking Collective.
Good evening, BIDA Board, citizens of College Park. Tonight we'll hear a comprehensive plan update by Inspire Placemaking Collective by Ms. Ortel.
Madam Chair, so I understand. So, Ms. City Manager, is this a company that the city hired to do the comprehensive plan?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I want to understand. Okay, now I'm following. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Let me know if you can't hear me. I have a soft voice, so thumbs up for everyone can hear me. Okay, great. Let me go to the next slide. This is our project team. I'm Eleanor Ortel. I am our deputy project manager. Nikisha is our project manager, and Megan is our outreach coordinator. We are with Inspire Placemaking Collective, which is a firm in Yeah,
so you can advance the slides.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And then there's all
Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is great. Thank you. I've been doing comprehensive planning for the past 8 years in Georgia specifically, and our team has tons of experience doing comprehensive plans. So I'm just going to give a quick overview. I apologize to those who have seen this before, but we really wanted to come here tonight to inform you about this project and make sure that you guys have an opportunity to provide us feedback, not necessarily during this meeting, but I'm happy to take questions at the end of this, and then my email will be here as well as our website so that you can provide feedback and then share with your colleagues, friends, family, etc. Getting into the project overview, we've been working really closely with staff to get this project up and running as quickly as possible. We do have a deadline. We do not start from scratch ever when we're looking at planning processes, especially in Georgia, because comprehensive planning has been required every 5 years since 1989. So the previous plan was done in 2022. We take all the information from that plan. We do a very thorough review. We review the strategic plan that the city has done as well and make sure that we're incorporating the goals and the strategies that the city has already set forth. And really it's to build upon what has been done and make sure that it is up to date with the current market conditions or any changes over the past 5 years. On our timeline, we kicked this off in March. We have a very quick timeline, so we've been moving pretty quickly, but one of the biggest pieces that we're wanting to make sure that we spend ample time on is our community engagement, because that is really the root of comprehensive planning. And we've been working on our data collection and analysis, which I do have some data figures to show you all today. And then we did our online kickoff, which was our public hearing in May, and that's when I gave this first version of this presentation. And then we've had one of our steering committee meetings, and we are working on setting up our ward workshops as well. And then hoping to have the draft by the end of July for review. And then gives us about a month for public feedback, which this will go for a public hearing, so we'll go to council as well. All of the documents are online. Our process is heavily documented, and then we go through the state review and final revisions, and then the adoption hearing.
Excuse me,
Yes.
one of my board members has a question.
Sure, happy to
Mr.
answer.
Reasonover.
So, what was your first name again, Miss?
My name is Elena.
Miss Eleanor. Going back to the page before this one right here,
This one?
in the June and July column, under 4 ward workshops.
Yes.
Do you have concrete target dates for those workshops?
We are trying to schedule them for June. We have had some interruptions in trying to get those scheduled based off of the council members' schedules. So right now, we do have one scheduled with Ward 3 on June, do you remember 25th? I'm forgetting the
Yes.
exact date.
And Ward 1 with McKenzie.
Ward 1 with
I think it's
McKenzie.
that tomorrow at 11:30.
We actually had it today at
Today at
11:30. We met with Councilmember McKenzie, and we have that tentatively either the 18th or the 25th of July. And then Councilmember Karn, be great to hear from you, so let me know when you have a chance so we can connect.
Thank you.
All right, so again, this adoption date is really critical. If we do not meet it, then you risk your qualified local government status, which is how you apply for grants and funding in Georgia. So after our first steering committee meeting, I just wanted to provide, oh, and also this presentation will absolutely be available to you guys. So if there's anything specific that you're hoping to get, let me know and I'll make sure I can send it to you. We went through kind of our summary process. After all the public engagement is completed, we actually prepare a public engagement summary that says exactly where we were, who we spoke to, what the process was, what our findings were, what the summary was for everything. And so we just did a quick one. No one has seen this yet, so this is new information for everyone in the room. That being said, this is not finalized. So some of the key things that we heard from our steering committee meeting for housing and affordability and preservation showed up, landlord accountability, permit cost, quality versus cost gap relative to local wages, anti-predatory buying ordinance modeled kind of off of the city of Atlanta. I don't want to read all of these, but again, this will be here for you all to see. Economic development stood out. That's definitely one that I want to make sure that we focus on today. So some of the key things we heard from the steering committee first meeting was just the demand for family-centered destinations, groceries, dining, recreation, parks, things like that. Leveraging the proximity to the Delta headquarters as well as GICC for tourism and hospitality. Working on maybe some interest for food truck park or vendor markets, weekly or monthly, having something that community members and families can go to on a regular basis. More employment opportunities within the city to reduce out commuting, which I'll get into that from a data perspective in a minute. And then track multifamily development progress over the past 5 to 10 years. People were really interested in understanding that. We have some additional pieces of feedback. We heard a lot about infrastructure and public services, some frequent power outages, power lines needing to be buried, water and stormwater issues, as well as maybe some unkept MARTA situations, and then sanitization, frequency concerns, recycling, trash, things like that, and then growth and character. And there were some big themes that really came out of our first public steering committee meeting, and that is the safety concerns, and it's tied to all topics that have been identified, the need for dedicated community outreach staff so people can be reached that have historically been underrepresented, which is one of the reasons why we're really targeting each ward specifically and making sure that we are not only using their newsletters, but also going out to where the community currently is. So that has been our strategy, because you all know your community best, and each ward and council member represents the community. So we've been really working closely to try to close that gap. But the recommendation to have more community outreach staff to make sure that it can be closed in other scenarios came up. Transportation, strength and gap. And then the pandemic actually came up, so having preparedness as a planning consideration for maybe not another pandemic, but for adaptability when external issues arise. Okay. I'm going to get into just some economic data really briefly. So like I said, we went through all of the existing work that has been completed as our baseline, and then we went through an analysis process, which I helped lead. My background is in economic development, and we specifically identified, well, in the 2021 comprehensive plan, we identified, the other consultant identified business diversity and awareness, slow development pace, wealth disparity and equity, workforce development, impacts of airport operations, and then these were identified as some of the key community opportunities from that plan. So again, we're pulling from that previous plan forward. So strategic location, downtown and redevelopment opportunities, unique regional assets. When we were going through our data, we look at census, and then we also look at CoStar, which is a real estate platform, if you're familiar with it. We also look at Esri Business Analyst, which uses census data. We also use Census on the Map. We use all of them, which is great. And then we've been working with the staff. So over the past 15 years, we've kind of seen a very stagnant, steady population. And I know Councilmember Karn and Mayor spoke a little bit about this in our first public hearing, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a negative. I have seen lots of communities that grow too quickly, and it can be very challenging for the residents, and you end up causing people to have to move out because they no longer can afford it. So I think thinking about College Park and the future of College Park, what we're trying to do is assess that this is what's currently happening in the data, but I want to make sure that you all feel these things in real life. Do you feel like College Park is getting busier and busier? Is it traffic? Is it employment driven? And so this is kind of a sounding board for that. And then your population projection is pretty stable. It's a little bit slower than some of your neighboring Fulton County and Clayton County and then the Atlanta MSA. But you guys are very unique. We just use that as a baseline to understand the trends in the market. You have a very high education rate, which is amazing. So 30% of College Park residents, 25 years and older have a bachelor's degree or higher. That's a really, really high statistic, especially in Georgia. So it's really great. And a lot of that not only has to do with your residents, but also has to do with the sheer accessibility to colleges and universities near and within College Park. I've been looking
Excuse
at...
me.
Yes.
Board Member Reasonover has a question.
Sure, I'm happy to answer.
So, Ms. Elena, of that 9%, what geographical area of College Park does that mostly reflect?
I have not done the spatial analysis for this, so I will look at the census and I can get back to you on that if you don't mind. I don't know where exactly within the city what census gives us is just that specific data point of people who fill out the census 25 years and older, if they have graduated from high school or not.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, wanted to really focus on employment with you all tonight. One of the key things that I thought was really interesting is your employment data online was actually a little complicated from the sense of with the airport, there were some statistics that were very high. And so these were the most conservative numbers and the ones that I felt like aligned with what the previous plan shared as well and what other consultants use as best practice. So these are your top 5 employment sectors, which I don't think should shock you all in the room: accommodation, food services, public administration, wholesale trade, healthcare and social assistance, transportation, and warehousing. What I want to say about this slide is this is representing the percentage of jobs in College Park. This is not representing the people who live within College Park and where they're working. So this does not mean that this is filled by people who live in College Park. There's actually only a very small percentage of people who live in College Park and also work in College Park. So I've been working with staff on this, so we can kind of move past this question, but we also look through your major employers just to understand where people are commuting in from and where they're commuting to within the city. And so this was the list that the College Park Business License Department had in 2023, but I've reached out and staff is on it to get the most up to date. So we'll see if that changes, so keep eyes on that. What I wanted to understand more when we were doing this analysis is, okay, if most people are commuting in for jobs and the people that live within College Park are commuting out, where are they employed? What kinds of earnings are they having? Is there a gap? And so what we found is that of College Park's 6,000-ish residents that are in the workforce, so not everyone that's currently living within College Park, but those who are of working age and are currently participating. Transportation and warehousing employs the largest share of residents. That does not mean that they're employed within College Park. And then accommodation, food services, retail trade, wholesale trade, and then administrative and support waste. So what I noticed was that the jobs present in College Park, as well as the jobs that residents have, are aligned, even though they're not exactly filled by College Park residents. So we also looked at median earnings. Again, this is all from the American Community Survey, which is census data for 5 years. It's an average. It's 2024 is the most up to date. And what we were looking at was really trying to understand, okay, if this is where the bulk of College Park residents are working in these industries, are they making enough to live in College Park? Right now, there is a gap. And what I would love to hear from everyone, either via email or on our website, is whether or not that is what the community is experiencing. Because again, I can talk about numbers all day, but you all know your community best, so we want to understand if this is accurate. And then I'm just going to briefly get into the real estate data that I had been looking at. So looking specifically first at retail properties, I have information back to 2000, but I really like to focus on the past 5 years. That is the recommendation when you're looking at real estate data. So right now you have around 109 retail properties. I have a map. Let's see, can I figure out there it is. Okay, so you can see the clusters of the retail space, which makes sense because they're clustered on high traffic roadways and commercial centers. Your vacancy is up a little bit, but nothing that I would say is concerning. And then your 2026 rent per square foot is about $15. And that's slightly below the Atlanta MSA's average, which is good because that provides more affordability purposes for those who are opening businesses or keeping their business in College Park. Office properties, around 103. You have 2.4 million square feet of office. Again, most of, bear with me, I apologize. Most of your office space, not surprising, is close to the airport and also on the north side of College Park. And then no office properties have been built in the past 6 years, which makes sense because office became underutilized during the pandemic. And so we're still feeling that trend. This is very normal for other communities across Georgia and also across the nation. So that's very standard. Again, not something to be concerned about right now. Okay, only a couple more on these. Bear with me. 104 industrial properties, again, 2.8 million square feet. Vacancy is pretty standard for the current market, and then your rent is very competitive. And again, with a lot of the clustering being kind of in this middle portion and also close to the airport. When I was trying to go through this, I really wanted to understand what you guys have in your pipeline. So what's proposed, what's under construction, what's happening. CoStar only, gives us a snapshot. It doesn't always have the most up-to-date data. So these are some of the properties that we found in CoStar. And so once this presentation is over and I send it out, I would love to get feedback on whether or not you all are familiar with these properties, if they're accurate, if this is really truly what's in the pipeline, and if anything is missing. So right now we have an under construction property on Natural Fresh Boulevard. We have another industrial flex property proposed for delivery in 2027 on Naturally Fresh Boulevard. We have an office property that's proposed but doesn't have a date on Columbia Ave, and then that one's classified as medical, and then multifamily property under construction, but I actually believe since we've looked at this data, the Blue Sky Landing development has been completed, so. And then when I was looking at hotel data, I saw that this is in proposed stage for 2029 delivery. Just wanted also feedback on whether or not this is true. I pointed where it is on the map here. That can be something that you all follow up with me, but I'd be curious to know what you all know about that. All right, the developers for 6 West are no longer here, but it would be great to get some more information regarding 6 West and y'all's feedback on wanting to understand how we can plan in the comprehensive plan about 6 West and how to think about infrastructure and transportation and potential community needs, especially serving the residents that are currently in College Park and also those who are coming in. So we want to be very cognizant of that. So if there's an anticipated year, that would be wonderful, or any more development information from that. All right. You can give me a raise of hands if you guys don't mind, or you don't have to raise your hands, you can just let me know. But what types of businesses would you most like to see in the city from here on out? I'll just open it up, the floor. We've got small retail shops, big box retail, restaurants, cafe. It could be something not on this list. I'm just wanting to get a pulse of, are you attracting the commercial development that you're looking for, or are you not? And what do you feel like is maybe getting in the way of that is really what we're trying to understand from this specific board.
Okay, this is an opportunity, board, to let them know. Okay, Board Member Jefferson.
Hi, I have a question. As far as, I have two questions.
Sure.
Your process, have you reached out to the council member appointees yet for those meetings?
Sorry, if you can repeat the question, sorry.
Have you sent the information to the council people appointees that they appointed to the committee?
For the steering committee meetings?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything's been sent to all of them, yeah.
Okay, because I haven't received it.
Well, you weren't on the list of the appointees, but I'll double check with Councilman Gay and we can get that sorted.
Yeah.
After this meeting, yes, I'll double check.
Okay.
Either way, if you have an email that you could provide me, I'm happy to share everything too.
Sure. My second question is, what other cities have you guys done the steering comprehensive plan for?
Yes, right now I am managing Kennesaw's comprehensive plan, and we are working with their steering committee that's been appointed. Our first meeting is next week with them. We've done Rincon. We've been working in Stonecrest for their unified development ordinance. It's not a comp plan, but you still have a steering committee and you still have an advisory committee. We've been working in East Point as well on their unified development ordinance update. We are working with their steering committee as well as their advisory committee. And we're working in Cartersville with their downtown streetscape plan. We're working with their steering committee as well. And I'm probably forgetting a couple of other ones, but that's what's currently on our docket right now.
My only concern is, because I don't see any feasibility in per capita information in your plan. So I'm just trying to understand. I recognize that you pulled your stats, from CoStar, but normally that's not the process. So I was just trying to understand, how are you relating this, your feasibility, how are you relating the feasibility study to show what adverse impact that we're dealing with, in College Park? And are you utilizing, how are you defining College Park? Are you utilizing both zip codes?
Yes, great question. Okay, I hope that I'm answering it correctly. Let me know if this is helpful and if you have further questions. So for feasibility, what we do is after we do our public engagement, finalizing, and our data analysis finalized, and we get feedback from everyone that we possibly can, we then synthesize that into a community work program, which is required by the Department of Community Affairs. It gives you a 5-year layout of this is the project that the city really wants to see. This is how it's being funded. This is exactly how it's going to be done. This is the feasibility on the project. Comprehensive planning is very high level. So this really serves as a way to, when you're applying for grants, every project that you want to apply for a grant should be in your comprehensive plan, because most grants require that it says this is the goal that you have, this is what the city wants, this is what the residents want, and then you're able to apply from there. So you want to make sure that it's in each plan. So that's kind of the feasibility standpoint. Now, we don't exactly do like engineering numbers, but that's not what the comprehensive plan is required to do or what it's technically used for. As far as, I'm forgetting something. You had a question on feasibility. Was there another?
Per capita.
Per capita. So
You can answer that question, Keith.
I was just going to add, Board Member Jefferson, that the feasibility and the per capita is a separate study than what traditionally a comprehensive plan will cover.
Well, we did it in 2021. So that's why I'm trying to understand the process, because that, it was included in beginning stages with the council people's appointees. Because it specifically talked about the deserts that we have, specifically per capita, per feasibility. You know, Camp Creek development has taken away a huge amount of discretionary income from College Park. So it discussed those aspects. And so I'm not just talking about general stats. So if you go back to that plan in 2021, it included that in those committee meetings. So I think that if you plan on doing that in the end, I mean, that could be you guys' process, but you may want to touch bases on what took place in 2021, even with the planning and zoning department and how they tied in, you know, what type of new real estate wanted to be done in College Park. But like I said, I see what you have, but it's a lot of generic information. It's not specific to College Park.
That's
being
good
a hospitality city, being a house, you know, it's just not, from what I see. So I'm just saying that 2021 plan was very, it was just thorough.
Yeah, the Inspire team will definitely take that back and consider that in their further research. So we'll make sure that that's addressed.
Yeah, can we have access to that plan that was completed? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Did you have any further questions?
No. Okay, Mr. Reasonover has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
That's gonna
You asked the question, what type of businesses
Yeah.
would you most like to see in the city? And I have to refer back to your page under early insights and employment, where you say while resident and employer industry mixes are broadly aligned, a structural gap exists. Most residents commute out for work and most local jobs are filled by non-residents. That's not grossly disturbing to me, but that is a problem.
I agree.
So, because I'm under the belief that if our residents live in College Park, then there should be employment that they can take advantage of in College Park. So I asked you the question, and then I'll tell you what I would like to see. So I asked you the question, if you you know, can answer or shed any light on this. Why do you think that gap exists? What do you think could soften that gap or close that gap?
So, just from what I've seen, I think part of it is because I think a lot of those jobs that residents have are probably being filled at the airport, and because technically there's like this small sliver of the airport that is within the city, there's a chance that, I don't know, it's hard with jurisdictional boundaries. Sometimes the way that data is reported, we're just working with what's given. So there could be that where people are working very adjacent. My sense also is College Park is surrounded by lots of other cities and employment destinations, especially having giant employment hubs like in Midtown, downtown. There's lots of opportunities. So there could just be opportunities that people were able to get, and then they move to College Park and are just still employed at maybe in a different jurisdiction. These are all kind of guesses from what I've seen in the data. What I would say for thinking about economic development and ways to close that gap, what I've seen a lot of other communities do, and this could be part of the recommendations if you like this, is having basically like a trainee program internally at the city or working with BIDA where you're providing opportunities for young people, or especially those who are in college, and you're giving them priority access to those connections. There's lots of other ways to do it, but that's just one example. And you guys might already do it. I haven't gotten that far yet, so in my analysis.
So perfect segue into what type of facility I would like to see. That would look like some sort of educational training center, partnering with partnering with local businesses to train some of our workforce, because I worry still about artificial intelligence and its impact on our workforce in the coming years. So mentioning what you mentioned previously, I think we as a community, as a board, we're gonna have to take a serious look into what our workforce is gonna look like in the future before we won't have one. Because it's small, and yeah, I think we need to look into that. So if you would, could you list that somewhere now?
Sure, absolutely.
What you just said, and in addition to what I said also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and any more questions? I know we're moving with time. Do you have much more?
No, I can skip the discussion questions if everyone would be willing to email me and speak with me afterwards. Really just our next steps are, we have a survey, we have a website. We would really, really, really appreciate your feedback on the website, but also email directly to me, which I'll get to. My email's on the next slide. Taking the survey, sharing with your family, friends, colleagues, etc. Let me know if anyone has any troubles accessing.
Yes. And we also have this on our economic development website. As you all know, this is a very, very important initiative. We really want to have feedback on how this is going to shape our city. So please fill out the survey. It is on our website, and then you could also scan it here as well.
Absolutely. And we've worked with staff to create that survey and making
Yes.
sure it's very targeted. So that would be helpful. And then, oh, it is the last slide. Okay, I will, my email is with Hannah.
Yes.
Feel free to email her and she'll get us in contact. But I really appreciate y'all's time tonight and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we will have the Price Barbershop update, economic development manager, Jacques, Garcia.
Good evening, board, residents of College Park. Tonight we're talking briefly about the status update for the Price Barbershop. So just as a recap, again, the Price Barbershop ultimate goal is to be a self-guided African-American museum, a community center, and office spaces. The two major updates from the last time we did an update on the plan was a contamination abatement completion. That just means that we got the bad stuff out of the buildings and EPA approved. We have since have the complete report on that, and that's been available for what was removed and how much of that was removed. And then a barbershop roof inspection. So as part of the work that we do, in a scope in our first phase one was to stabilize the building. We have found from the assessment of the buildings, both the duplex and the barbershop, that the roof needs to be stabilized to prevent any further damage from happening. And so we did get a roof vendor to go out and do inspections on the roof. And for the next phase, this is the list of what will be completed in phase one: fire repair, the fencing removal for the duplex, demolition of the porch that is stably unsound, roof repair, as I mentioned, on the Price Barbershop, and Price Barbershop design phase two. So you may have remembered at our last council meeting, there was approval for access infrastructure. That is the architect that is doing the work on Price Barbershop. They will be coordinating the design work along with the stabilization work from phase one. And then, of course, phase three is construction. And just for full transparency, these are the numbers that we're working with in terms of the budget for Price Barbershop. Phase one, much of the work that I've mentioned in phase one comes to about $395,000. This is all funded through the Tourism and Product Fund. But through all phases, phase one, phase two, and phase three, it's $1.16 million from the Tourism Product Fund. And those are city funds.
Can you go over one more time, if you go back,
Sorry, which one?
exactly how everything is funded, okay?
Say again, Dr. Willis, sorry.
how everything is funded. I was just wanted to get clarity.
Yes, so phase one, these are the numbers that break down phase one, which is about $395,658. Everything remaining from the everything remaining, or the difference from the 395,658 to the 1.16 million is what will be covered in phase two and eventually phase three. Now, we know further funding will be needed for phase three, the construction phase, but as of right now, the architecture and the general contractor for phase one and phase two will be covered. The numbers that was approved in council for phase two was 103,000, I believe, maybe 102,000 for the architecture work. So if you add 102,000 to 395,658, that would roughly give you what phase one and phase two costs.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, can you talk a little bit about, now that we have an architect doing a rendering, what the community engagement phase will look like? If you could go back a couple of slides. The overall, there you go. The vision of that self-guided historical museum and community center and office space was one that incorporated FOA. That office space was the discussion was that would be office space for FOA. So my question is, where is FOA in this project?
That's a great question, Mayor. The representatives from FOA, I think, have last come to this BIDA meeting in terms of ultimately where this project whose hands this project will end up in is a decision of the owners of this property. And FOA is available for reaching out and contact, as well as 1 Square Mile. I believe that's the other group as well. But the decision for, as far as the scope, deliberately put into their scope for architecture, the decision for design input is left to the community and the members, owners of the property, to assist the architect with which future design should be included.
Madam Chair, may I follow up?
Yes. You want to say something else?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Since it's left to the owners of the property and the Business and Industrial Development Authority is the owner of the property, I think it's vitally important that we are intentional about our community engagement in this process. Once we receive renderings, to loop the community in, including FOA and including 1 Square Mile, to get that input to ensure that we are doing this with the community, not that we're just bringing the community along in whatever we think. Because this was generated, this entire process was community driven. We are at this point because people said we need an opportunity to honor the community that lived in the area. And we want to do that through Price Barbershop and other avenues. But this is low-hanging fruit. We should not miss on this, that we should ensure that the community is engaged at every point where decisions are being made.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any other board members? I wanted to, okay.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Madam Chair.
Can I say something right
Yes,
quick?
go ahead.
Just concerning, everything, I'm glad that you're here. We received a letter today, and I did send it back out to all my board members concerning FOA, and our board member Jefferson, she did send that letter, whatever, from FOA to the mayor, council, I think legal organs. But I wanted to see, I never saw the letter today, but if anybody have that letter? I want that letter to be read publicly. Did, Board Member Jefferson, it was a email sent today, but I did not see the letter attached. And I do want for to, you know, have that letter read, if you would. Do you have that letter?
So here's my concern with that. As I stated in that email, FOA should not have to reach out to a board member if BIDA has an attorney and has a chair. For what they stated was that they were refused several times because they were asking what their position and status was with BIDA. And as I mentioned in that email, BIDA made a motion that FOA was going to be the designated representative when we annexed those three properties.
That was not true, Board Member Jefferson.
Well, they had sent several, they showed that they had sent several emails to you and tried to contact you, and they were told that they were told no. That
is not, that is not true.
Well, I'm not here
Okay,
to, I'm not
but
here to
understand
banter.
it's not
I'm not here
true.
I'm not here to banter. All I'm saying is, what we have to understand, we have a core fiduciary responsibility as a state-appointed charter development authority board to work with the community. And as I stated at our last meeting, by you taking off, by the board deciding to take off other issues, this is where, over the past 46 years, the public has had the ability to come to this meeting and utilize this meeting to gain information. They have always had access. But by that being removed, you no longer have the ability for the public to engage in a public meeting. So we have to stay cognizant that of our motions that are taking place in this board, in the previous motions, we designated them as our representative, but somewhere between the time, things change in their organization, but we never follow up to follow through. So there should never be a time if we, as a board in the previous years, decided to vote on something and approve it, that this group shall be alienated.
This group
due to changes.
Right now, I heard.
But what I'm telling you is because you're addressing me. So what I'm telling you is I have integrity in my practices and my responsibility
and
to this community.
And we have a board. We have integrity.
However, they have been, from what they're stating, they have tried to be in contact with this board over the course of several months, and they have not been able to get the answers that was requested in that letter.
And this, and I want to speak right now also.
And so
at this time, okay, I want to speak now.
And so I'm not finished. And so therefore, it's imperative, but I'm not finished. It's imperative for us to go back through.
I want to speak.
I understand that, but you address me. Point of order. You address me, so I am responding, and I'm not finished. So it's imperative that we follow up.
I have authority. I have asked.
You addressed me, and I'm responding. Point of order.
Do I have a motion?
I am responding to your question. I'm not here to banter back and forth. All I'm asking is that this leadership of this board have integrity in your practices and the way you deal with this community.
Yes.
What are we making a motion?
You don't want the truth, don't address it.
So.
The truth. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Chairman, I have a question. Mrs. Jefferson, you said that a motion was made stating this. When was that motion made? And at what meeting?
It's in the previous years.
What previous years? That's why I'm asking.
That's why I said, if you look at I don't know if you brought the email. If Hannah goes
Your mic
to
is
email, Attorney Wiley has it and Hannah has it. They can follow up.
So what you telling me, you don't know when the motion was made?
Oh my, okay, first of all, this is not a deposition, and Julian, or Julius, whatever your name is, this is not a deposition. It was addressed in the email.
It's Julian.
So, Attorney Wiley and Hannah will follow up to follow through on that motion. Everyone is fully aware of the position that FOA had with BIDA. Now, where the breakdown in communication went with this newly elected leadership, that's the issue. Because they have never had a problem in the past.
Madam Chair.
So you follow up with the
Madam Chair.
Yes, Attorney Wiley.
This body has never designated FOA formally as the formal agency to handle the Price Barbershop. Let me tell you what y'all did do last year when you all made the motion to make it a historic property.
It was not needed last year, just what I'm saying.
You're out of order.
There you go.
I think you too. You out of order too.
You're out of order.
All right, we've got to have a peaceful meeting here now, you know.
Board members, if you all remember, last, I believe, November or December, maybe November, because I don't think we had a December meeting, but when you all made the motion to designate the property as a historic site, at that meeting, you all specifically said that in the future, you all will look into formally partnering with an entity, a nonprofit, to help run that museum or do the work that is being alluded to today. But you never formally voted to do that. And the minutes will reflect that. This is in 2025, so you could not have had a motion before 2025 because you never made a formal designation of this property as historic property. Secondly, every BIDA meeting is a public meeting, and any member of the public, as is here today, can attend. No member of FOA or any other public or or person from the community has been denied access to the BIDA meeting. I do know that Mr. Garcia has presented numerous updates to the public at these meetings concerning the status and update of the Price Barbershop. And lastly, as the attorney, I don't decide who comes and gets on y'all's agenda. And I do think that there was a representation made to the FOA members last year around Christmas because they contacted me and said they were told that you all had voted to enter into an MOU with them. And I advised them then that that was not the case, that you all had not made that vote. And so I'm not sure where the misinformation is coming from, Madam Chair, but the minutes in the record will speak for itself.
Mr. Wyatt.
This point, this has gotten personal, and Attorney, I believe what you've said, but I will admit, I was under the understanding that we did have an agreement with FOIA. Obviously, even I was wrong, I guess, but I do know we've had no discussions about 1 square mile. And so, since there seemed to be some division, I'd just like to see us do a couple of things. I think we've asked Mr. Garcia to keep BIDA updated on the things that he's doing. However, I think that need to go a step farther. Until we can figure out for you 1 square mile, and I'll admit, if someone would have asked me, I probably would have said, yes, we did say we're going to use FOIA as the official group to handle these things. Obviously, I've been corrected. But I think the first step, Madam Chair, is for you to put your foot down and direct Mr. Garcia or whoever that anything else moving forward, spending money, anything that got to do with the Price Barbershop, it's come before this board. until we can figure out what entity we gonna deal with. Now, like I said, I would have lost a bet because I did think we entered an agreement with FOIA. I said we were gonna use them. But since there seems to be some confusion and misunderstanding, Madam Chair, Mr. Garcia said that's up to the owner of the property. Well, that's us. And I don't recall not one time that any of that $500,000, $300,000, all this stuff that you showed that's been done came before this board, Mr. Garcia. I don't remember none of that coming before this board. If we're the owner of the building, then why haven't you brought this stuff before the BIDA board?
So with many of the city projects and BIDA projects, they're so intertwined. I could answer that exact question. The reason being is because BIDA is the owner of the property, but the work that's actually being done on the property is funded by the city. So all the funds is funded through the Tourism and Product Fund, which is the general funds. So I have to go before the council, I have to go through the process, agenda review and everything with the city manager, and then go before the council to get these funds approved to do the work. So while BIDA is the owner, BIDA hasn't actually put funds towards doing the work on this property.
So Attorney Wiley, I'd like to comment on that, Madam Chair. I don't think just because somebody come up with the funds that they can just do what they want to do with property that we own, Mr. Garcia. I don't agree with that. And I'm not going to bring it up anymore. If the chair's not going to step up and say, hey, enough is enough, then I'm going to leave it alone. But Attorney Wiley, I don't think just because the city donate the money that they got the right to go do what they want to do with BIDA property.
Madam Chair, Mayor?
And Madam Chair, after the mayor, I'd like to respond, please.
Okay. Yes, Mayor.
2 points. I think to Board Member Jefferson and Board Member Wyatt's understanding. I recall conversations that it was our intent to enter into an MOU with FOA. And so I think that might be the disconnect. But I do believe there were, and I recall conversations that we were going to partner with them for the renovation of Price Barbershop. If someone else who was here remembers things differently, that's fine, and we can go back and take a look in the minutes. I don't believe that happened late last fall. I think those conversations happened earlier. So to that point, I understand there's some ambiguity there, but I do recall that when we initially engaged in approving receipt of the funds for the renovation of Price Barbershop, I believe that FOA is actually mentioned in that resolution. So again, that's before last fall. So we might need to do a little research to make sure that that aligns with my recollection and anyone else's who was here. And to Board Member Wyatt's point, I think that while council has the spending purse, I think that the actual direction should be initiated by this board. And so if we say we want this particular thing done, then it should start with BIDA moving forward. I understand your train of thought and proceeding in the way that you have, but I do think that as the owners of the property, the development authority should dictate how it happens and then request that funding for the things that the development authority wants from council to get the approval to move forward on those things.
I'm sorry. I think Mr. Hicks had the next question.
So, Councilman Wyatt, I understand exactly where you come from, and we'll do a better job as a city to bring this back before BIDA with the next update. We'll make sure that we're included. The purse strings is in one pot, and the owner of the building is another part. So we're gonna bring that together, and we'll do a better job of bringing that before you.
Well, I just hope your staff person at the podium hears that.
Yeah, we got you.
And that was one, I think, I have been intentional about making sure that Mr. Garcia comes every meeting that I can, I say, hey, bring some information up about the Price Barbershop. But as a board, we need to really, make sure that we know as a board how the way that we want to proceed concerning the Price Barbershop. Okay, and that's.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you, Madam Chairman. So as a new member of this board, I would like to see historical data on how this came about to bring myself up to speed and educate myself as to how this process moved and whatever motions were made, whatever motions were not made. So if we could get that, that would be good. Or if we could get that, I know you guys have seen it. I haven't. So I would like to see that.
Well, Madam Chair, we can get with Hannah and get him that information.
Okay, Hannah, if you would, get all of that so that we can have clarity, because we all definitely do need to be on the same page going forward and making sure that BIDA is, informed
But just
of every step that's going on. I remember.
just present those questions or concerns over here, and I'll take care of it, as opposed to my staff member at the podium. I'll take care of it.
Well received, well received.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Next, we'll have a board retreat update. James, did you get the email that I sent? It was did you see it? I just sent it probably about 20 minutes ago. It was just a slideshow. Probably about 30 minutes ago. But if not, that's okay. I'll resend it. I'll just go ahead and read this first.
Yeah.
You said, Attorney Wiley, you said,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just saying that on my way en route to tonight's meeting, I got an email from the retreat facilitators, and they sent maybe a high-level summary document. I'm not sure if you want to go over it or not. I will definitely email it to all the board members.
please do. And I just want to say a couple of words. Over those last 2 days, we had the opportunity to step away from our regular meetings and have an honest conversation about who we are as a board, how we work together, and where we want to go. We talked about our strengths, we talked about our challenges and the opportunities that lie ahead. Listen carefully during those discussions, and I heard the constructive feedback that was shared. Leadership requires listening, learning, and growing, and I take that responsibility seriously. I reflected on what was said, and I am committed to using those lessons to help lead this board forward. One of the biggest takeaways from our retreat is that we have too much important work to do to allow distractions, misunderstandings, or differences of opinion to prevent us from moving forward. We may not always agree, but we can always respect one another. As we move forward, I ask that we speak positive about this board in public, support one another, and focus on the solutions. Our community is dependent on us to lead, and our responsibility is greater than any individual concern. It is about the future of College Park and the fulfilling of the mission BIDA was created to carry out. As we move forward, I heard our meetings will be conducted timely, with decency, respect, and in order. We will treat one another professionally, and we will treat our guests, staff, and partners with the same respect. And behavior that disrupts the business of this board will be addressed accordingly. As chair, I remain committed to the transparency, the accountability, collaboration, and getting the work done. I believe we have an opportunity to build upon the momentum from our retreat and continuing strengthening our board. As often said, let our light shine, even when it gets dim. Put on a high beam. Shake it off and get back to work. We're not looking backwards, we're looking forward. And I just want to say thank you for the board for choosing College Park to do the retreat. I think it was a good choice. It was an opportunity, for us to engage with other boards in the city, and for us to really dive deeper into some of the things that we need to do as a board. And I just want to say thank you, but I like to go around the room and just kind of ask some of my board members who did attend what they thought about the retreat.
So I'll go first. I also would like to thank you, the other board members, Mr. Hicks and his staff, and I'll point out Hannah. I think that was a wonderful suggestion that you made, having it here in the city. I think that just added to our effectiveness of what we need to do. I think now, once the report comes out, we just need to build on those foundational principles. Because if we don't do that, then the retreat was a total waste of time. So I think we need to look at that report and we need to build on that.
Councilman Carter.
Thank you, Chair. I think it was productive. I think it was enlightening. I think it was positive for the most part. Every now and then you have some disagreements here and there, but a lot of times that's how you come to good compromises and happy mediums. We've got so much development potential. I think a lot of times we've got to make sure we're getting out of our own way and focusing on what the residents expect in terms of development, moving us forward. We've got the largest economic generator in the region in our city. The job prospects should be tremendous here in College Park, and we want to make sure that they're more tremendous than they are now. The city is plentiful with jobs for our local residents. We're going to work to connect the dots. City manager is going to be connecting those dots for us. We have a new economic development director that's going to be connecting those dots. And we want to make sure that BIDA is moving forward to connect those dots. Every department under this city, we want to make sure that we're moving forward to take advantage of the unique and extraordinary development, logistical development position that we're in. We've got to harness that and use that. So it opened up some doors and it opened up some dialogue towards moving towards some new things and some new directions, I think. There was some compromise on some things. Board Member Wyatt, we went back and forth on a few things, but that's the way it goes. When you want to get something done, first of all, you gotta take the chips off your shoulder. You gotta sit down and you gotta be frank, have a drink and make a deal. And I think we made some progress over that weekend.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes, Madam Chair. I'm sure there's gonna come a time when I'm gonna talk to him personally and tell him how much I disagree with him, but let me just say this. I'm just so proud of the governing body that have taken a new attitude toward BIDA. And I think it's gonna be proved very beneficial to the city. So I know I did it in the retreat, I'm gonna do it again. Mr. City Manager, I'm taking my hat off to you. Thank you for yes. And thank you for addressing me about your employee. I didn't take it personal, so I'm gonna apologize to him. I know better. I should have directed that to you in the beginning. So I'll accept my apology. My takeaways was, because one of the things that we did a little survey of what we think about ourselves, and members got to say what they thought about us. And one of the members said something about my voice. And though I get excited out of passion, I don't get excited out of anger. But it's how it's received, not how it's, so I understand that. But I want to just take one moment to talk about the mayor. We had a speak from the mayor of Hateville. And two things he said, I won't take away and I'll let it go. But is that one thing he talked about the arts. Hateville is killing it in the arts. And somebody asked him, Mr. Mayor, what did you do for the arts? And he said, I got the heck out of the way. He said, I got the heck out of the way. I hope people get what I'm saying. Sometimes people just get the heck out of the way and let people do their thing. I think you'll be surprised. And he also said that they fully fund their development authority. But he also said they don't always do what they want them to do. It's the nature of it. So there's a lot of things I could say, but I'll leave it at that, other than to say that I hope that the personal attacks can stop. I hope that we try to do what's best for this board and not vote for something or against something because you just don't like somebody or somebody you know don't like somebody. I've always tried to do what's best for the board, and I said in the retreat, people called me a kissing up to the mayor because we voted a lot like the last year. It ain't about that. It's about me just doing what's right, I think, for this board. And I'm gonna continue to try to do that. And I will hope that we can just get away from the personal attacks and just try to do what's best for this board in this city. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
I appreciated everyone's openness and some frank discussions happened. I look forward to building on that and having the opportunity to get the report from the team and their assessments of where we go next. Because I think that the retreat for me brought up some pretty clear spaces in which we have gaps. And if we are going to move forward as a development authority that is as powerful as we can be, we need to ensure that we fill those gaps and ensure that our process and our strategies are aligned.
And Attorney Wiley, I just want to say just thank you for helping so much in helping us to develop our program.
Ditto.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. And I don't know if you want to have a few words to say, you're more than welcome.
I am so proud of the engagement that this board showed at the retreat. It was lively, it was passionate, it was fun, we laughed, we almost cried. But it was a good retreat. And LeaderGov, I have emailed you all their high-level summary report. I just sent it. They sent it to me at 5:37. I was in traffic on the expressway. But y'all have it. It's a 7 pages high-level summary of the big points. They will come back in August, at our August meeting, August or September, and they'll give them a lot more detail. And thank you all for entrusting them to do their job, and I hope you all enjoyed them. I think they were well worth it. They also sent the invoice too, Madam Chair, so that's attached to it, and Hannah, I forwarded that to you so that can be processed. Thank you all.
And Mr. Hicks, just thank you. You know, it was just great for your, to have your team and to have you there and present, doing that. Very instrumental in helping, for the success of the retreat. James, okay, we have okay, may not have any audio, but we're gonna kind of move through it.
Madam Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Hicks.
I was just gonna say, the young lady that came and gave you guys a glimpse of the strategic plan, I would really recommend that the board invite her back and let her go through what the strategic plan would look like for BIDA.
Okay.
And so therefore, when Mr. Garcia gave you the update about Price Barbershop, if you have your strategic goals, you could tie that back to a goal.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, Rolla, we have a short video. I did take some pictures and just wanted to kind of share so we can have a recap. Uh-huh. Okay, you want to slow down? Okay. No, it's no audio. And just wanted, as it finish up, but just, want to thank the GICC, the proof of the pudding. I want to thank Lorenzo with Main Street for coming and sharing both days with us in Main Street. It was a team effort, and I just want to thank everybody. You go ahead. I was trying to take some pictures and get a few things, but okay, and that's it. And then just us keeping in mind, we are moving forward, and so let's just continue in that direction. Okay, next, we have new business. We have a discussion regarding the BIDA Business Development Grant, and I'll kind of take the lead on that. But during the, I guess back in November, we decided to take $39,000 and use for grants for our businesses. And I think Attorney Wiley, she shared some things, with us. But as the budget is approaching, we need to go ahead and see about getting these dollars out to our businesses. And just wanted to see how the board wants to go. Mr. With Main Street, I may give him an opportunity to say a couple of words, because they may have a program that we can use. But before I do that, I would like for the board to kind of weigh in a little bit concerning how we go about, using that money.
Madam Chair?
I think Mr. Wiley was first.
Okay. Madam Chair, I'm just a little bit confused, because when this board was created, it was the Main Street, Virginia Avenue Board, I believe.
Wait a minute. I see where you're going. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, no, I just said they had, the only reason I did, he sent a proposal, but I feel like you should go throughout the
So
city.
I'm just trying to, maybe they changed the name of it or anything, but I think I was on council when we decided to name this. Actually, the name came in Virginia and Maine. That's what the citizens voted on, if I remember correct. But the Main Street developer at that time changed it back to Maine and Virginia, which is fine. But I'm trying to figure out why all this stuff is going on. I never hear Virginia Avenue mentioned in none of their presentations, not in the heads, always College Park, Main Street. But so I guess my first question is this not the same Main Street, Virginia Avenue Board that we created?
Yes, sir.
It appears to me that Virginia Avenue has come obsolete, or doesn't seem to be much emphasis put on that or even mentioning them. So I just like, if that's what it is, I like for Virginia Avenue to get its fair recognition and fair whatever we do, they're part of whatever Main Street does. The Main and Virginia Avenue Board. Thank you.
May I respond? We agree with that. And to your concern, two of our board members, Desai, who owns Zuby's Taco, he's on Virginia Avenue, and then Leanna, who owns Buttermilk Biscuit, is on Virginia Avenue. And so as we develop this board, we understand that we're probably one of the most powerful small business group in all of College Park. And so our goal is to coordinate with Old National Merchant Association, as well as all the merchants on Main Street of Virginia Ave, and give us, well, for the downtown side, a unified downtown College Park. Because you're right, we've grown out of just 2 streets. And especially as we talk about 6 West, we're probably looking at more of a downtown College Park. But when we're in our meetings, we had a board meeting today, we're thinking about all of College Park. And so with this grant, I believe with the direction of the chairwoman is that she wants not just Main Street to get the benefits, she wants all of College Park. We presented something via email where we would take that grant and we would administer it to business outside of Main Street, so all of College Park would benefit. And we were looking at it as a marketing grant, and those businesses would receive those funds and distribute them to other businesses who do marketing within College Park. So it's almost like a double investment in our community. So I'm Business A, I might be on Old National. I would receive a grant, so let's say for $5,000, and I would deploy that to other businesses in College Park that provide services for website and digital marketing.
Madam Chair, and I'm okay with it. I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here to, cause confusion. Sound like what I'm hearing is, Madam Chair, that the grant that we have, that we're not going to administer it, we're going to give it to the Main and Virginia Avenue Board? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm on the direction of the board. How do the board want to distribute this 39?
Because he was talking about how I distribute, so I'm just.
No, he was just sharing.
Madam Chair?
Okay.
Yes.
It was my recollection that the question when we agreed to set the money aside was how BIDA could legally use the money, and I thought Attorney Wiley was going to come back to us to share that and take an analysis of that and share it with the board. So has that happened? And if yes, please share the criteria by which we can administer this money, and if not, then where are we on that?
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, Attorney Wiley.
Yes, Madam Mayor, you're correct. And if you'll recall, maybe January or February, I came before you all and did a high-level overview of the legal parameters under which that money could be used in the context of BIDA's economic development mission. The practical issue is the implementation of it and the lack of internal apparatus to handle that particular administration of any such a program. And in talking with Madam Chair, and because we're nearing the end of this fiscal year, I believe she shared with me, and Madam Chair, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, that it might be more palatable for this first go round to go ahead and give it to an established entity that's already doing business and programs, facade grants. And then, as you all are looking to hire an economic development or executive director for BIDA and have someone to actually implement that program on your behalf in the future, that might be the better route.
Madam Chair, may I follow up?
Yes.
So is it possible to, I am losing the word tonight, it's already 8:30 and it's been a long day, and my apologies, but to essentially, it's not invoice, and this is a question for the city manager, but no, it's not outsource. Gosh darn it. It's been a long day. No, not reimburse.
Assign? No.
Basically do a PO for it into FY 27 so that the board might have the opportunity, if the wish is to do facade grants, that we can
encumber.
Encumber.
That's the word.
That is the word.
Yes.
Thank you, Attorney Wiley.
You're welcome.
Like I said, it's been a long day. But I think that it's fantastic for the Main Street Association to be doing this work. I do think this is an opportunity for BIDA, however, to be able to engage as an entity with our businesses. And so I don't want us to miss out on that. And if we sort of kick it down the road and let someone else do it, then I just think that we should get into the practice of it. If we can encumber the funds and get this going late summer, then let's make that happen. Because it's a relatively small amount of money. If we're talking about $5,000 for a facade grant, we're talking about,
8.
7 or 8. And so I think it's an opportunity for BIDA to be able to shift our focus in a way that hasn't necessarily happened for the small businesses in our community and start developing that relationship a little bit more.
Okay, Hope, Mr. Hicks first.
So, Madam Chair and the board, what I was going to say is the city has grown up now. We have a great grant administrator. So when you're talking about facade grants and other grants, who's managing that grant to make sure that everything that you spend is within the scope? Who's managing that? And the city would be more than happy to help. We'll bring Ms. Cameron Renee to the table, let her look at the grant, okay? She has a method that she goes through to make sure that we're in compliance with what the grant says, unless you guys have your own. But I'll be more than happy to bring her to the table.
Okay, Hope.
Well, last quick thing I'll say, and I agree, we have a grant manager that can help out, but we're talking about, we're only talking about $39,000, which is a nice piece of money. One of the things I hear from visitors and folks that come down through Virginia and Main Street is this. In the evening time, there are a lot of towns when you drive into some of the main areas, you can see the businesses have lights up on the awning where you can see what that is, and the sign is lit up, and they're matching lights going down. And I would have liked to see that along Virginia Avenue with some of those businesses along Main Street. And we're talking $39,000. So some visibility lighting may be something we could do quick, fast. We've got an excess of utility in terms of electric and the power department. You couple that with $40,000, and you can do something really quick that's going to light things up in the evening, so people can drive down and say, okay, this shop is here, and there's a bookstore right there. I can see the lights. I can see this down Virginia Avenue by the taco stand or whatever. I think that would be maybe a quick spin that would be something that we might want to look at to light up some of these businesses, because people want to see, well, what's here, and I'll pull in here, so I think that may be something to consider.
Okay.
Madam Chair, real quick. So, trust me, I'm not being negative. But when I look at this bag that say College Park Main Street Association, is that the same association that's supposed to be College Park, Maine, and Virginia? Is that the Maine of College Park that we created, Maine and Virginia Avenue? So this is my problem. So until we can correct that problem, I'm not voting to give anything to CPMSA until it's called until Virginia Avenue is included in the marketing and everything else. Second of all, this $39,000 is a great opportunity. We suffered a lot of negative press. We suffered some citizens think about BIDA. I think this is an opportunity for BIDA to shine and not give it away to some other entity for them to get to shine. This is a time for BIDA to do something good for the community. This is a time for BIDA to shine. So BIDA should be in charge of this. BIDA should go out and say, we're doing this on behalf of the Business Development Authority to give us some good news.
Okay.
That is my position.
Well, okay.
So when I joined this board, CPMSA, 3 months ago, it was to put some of the skills that I use in my business as a small entrepreneur who grew to a big entrepreneur. Right now, my net worth stands over $10 million. I've taken the tools that I've learned in business, working with Disney, Darden, large conglomerates, as well as my own restaurant group. We're very successful here in College Park. Our business doesn't need that money. The small businesses in College Park need that money. And so we're fighting for the small businesses in College Park. $39,000 is not a lot of money. Trust me, for me and my business, it's nothing. What we're trying to do is establish the fact that businesses all over College Park are closing. Downtown College Park, in Old National, all throughout the corridor. So to me, the $39,000 represents a 911. To Council Pro Tem's point, we can put signage over businesses, but if those businesses are gone, there's no way to put those signs. To Board Member Wyatt, it's going to go to Virginia Avenue, and if it comes down to semantics on what we call the board, I think we can change that later. But right now, Buttermilk Kitchen is closed. Johnny's Chicken and Waffles is closed. Julian, who was a former board member at Corner Grill, is closed. We have businesses closing all over College Park. I'm on the ground. I see the reality, and more businesses are going to close. So what we want to do as a board is hit the 911 and say, let's get some resources to these small businesses, get some money in their pockets so they can start potentially make payroll, potentially do marketing, and we'll try to administer as best guided by the board, but honestly, in business, cash flow is everything. And so maybe I might take that $2,000 and put it into marketing, but that's $2,000 I was going to put into marketing, I can put into a payroll. And so I'll be totally honest, if we aren't getting the resources to small businesses, they're going to close. That facade grant was very important for all the businesses in College Park. I went out and I talked to those businesses who received those facade grants. $10,000 helped those businesses out. G1, who owned Virgil's Gully Kitchen, they're fighting to get open right now. They were closed from a fire for almost 2 years. And everyone thinks that these businesses are thriving, but you're fighting with insurance companies. And sometimes that little bit of infusion of capital helps a lot. So I'm just going to impose on BIDA that we'll give BIDA credit. We'll, later on, we can change the name of the board. We don't care what the name is. We just want to help the small businesses. And so we're willing to be as flexible as possible, but we need resources in our small businesses. We're not the airport. We're not these big Coca-Cola and Chick-fil-A. We're mom and pop businesses. We have families. Everyone's stretched really wide. The cost of living has gone up. Cost of goods are going up. So it's not a lot of money. I don't need it. Trust me, I don't need it. We're plenty busy, but I know other businesses around me do need it. And so I'm asking the board to consider it. And if you don't, then I understand, and we'll try to work something else out on our end for the small businesses, but we appreciate if you at least consider it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
So I had a couple of questions. Hey, Lorenzo, how are you? So are you talking about expanding the current parameters of the facade grant and adding additional things that you're going to do for these small businesses?
So what we submitted, and I can send it out via email, was we would take a portion for administrative fee because CPMSA needs support as well, as the business organization represents all the businesses. And we would take the majority of the facade grant, the majority of the grant, and would distribute it. Right now, the proposal is marketing. And so we wanted to have a multiplier effect. So hypothetically, we would pick 10 businesses at $2,000 a piece. And then the criteria would be that those businesses would have to spend those marketing dollars with another business within College Park. So those could be social media influencers, small media companies, videography companies. And so what we want to do is kind of spread those resources through College Park businesses so we have a multiplier effect. The money will be deployed in the businesses in College Park, and those businesses will deploy it highly recommended with other businesses in College Park to help support these businesses.
Okay, so, seeing I've sat on the CPMSA board, that sounds like a separate grant. So who's going to administer that? Who's going to manage that? And I ask that because I know sitting on the board, there was a instance where a business received the grant money and then 4 or 5 months on down the line went out of business. So that's, I don't want to see that happen. If we decided to give you this money, then I don't want to see that happen because of nobody's holding anybody accountable, and I won't say mismanagement, but I just stop at accountability.
We'll take any recommendations. We'll take recommendations, and honestly, if you don't vote on it tonight, we can present something formally that would address what you're talking about.
I want to say something. The mayor talked about encumbered, and then Mr. Hicks talked about the grant writer. Could that be an opportunity maybe for us to encumber it now, and then still be able to do something for the businesses in our next fiscal year? Maybe you know, go ahead and get the money encumbered now so that we don't lose it. And then still try to, make sure we get some.
Why don't we just simplify the thing? BIDA's got some money left over, $39,000. I think if we divvy it up and we pick we ask some businesses, hey, we got a couple $1,000s here. Business number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 on Virginia Avenue, Main Street. What do y'all want to do with this money? Get the comments and get it out to some of them. I mean, you know, I don't think.
Yes.
I'm Chair. So I just want to remember, I hate to be the wet blanket. The lawyer is always the wet blanket.
Yes.
So when I provided an overview of the program early this year, what a program could look like, I was very clear that this will have to be project financing for eligible capital improvements. So BIDA has broad powers to promote trade, commerce, industry, employment opportunities, addressing blight. So, but we can't just can't give grants. It can be tied to a program that's based upon a project-based economic development financing program. So it'll have to be, even if we used or partnered with the Main Street Association or some other entity, that MOU would have to be written in such a way that we would pass constitutional muster and not violate the gratuities clause. So we'll have to tie it back to our purpose, and there will be parameters. So we couldn't just give it away without some strict parameters.
Madam Chair.
That's what the grant. But the problem was we didn't have. Thank you for saying that, because I know I can't administer it, so we didn't have anyone to administer it. But thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention.
That's kind of where I was kind of going with it. Could we, conversate?
So, Madam Chair, I don't know if you need a motion or whatever, but I think I'm hearing for at least 3 members that encompassing is the way to go. I just think that I hope what I said wasn't different, because I think this board is well qualified to do whatever it needs to do, just what else the College Park and Virginia Avenue, Main Street. So, Mr. City Manager, does the Main Street Association have a budget?
It comes through Ginger Melton. So my recommendation is, let's encumber the money.
Okay.
That's what I was.
Okay?
Okay.
And then the money will be available in 26, 27.
Okay. Because there's some questions about prior money being given away and what they require from the business. And so would you like a motion for that, Madam Chair?
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, I'm sorry. Board Member Jefferson.
Lorenzo, I know that you had mentioned, I don't know who created a facade grant, like who determined that it will be a facade grant, but when you made the point about distributing the grants, I just want you to keep cognizant that not only do you have Main Street and Virginia Avenue and Old National, you also have Jamestown. So if we're going to serve this city right, and if it's going to be totally inclusive, we have to make sure that we're accounting for all our business districts.
Yes, ma'am.
I do concur with you that you have the expertise as well as the board and the relationships to facilitate and administer the execution of the grants. My first question to this board, when we initially made the proposal in regards to not using the funds for the BIDA awards and giving it and providing it to the businesses, will we distribute it as a challenge grant? What is going to be the process for the qualifier to which businesses receive the grant? And if this is going to be a continued process, then just like how our BIDA awards we set up, determine a qualifier, criteria qualifier was based upon the number of years you've been in business. So we need, I just think that needs to be a more thorough presentation by the Main Street Association to talk about your efforts of how you would administer this grant per se, and then what will be the qualifiers and the criteria.
No, we're ready. When
So,
the
Madam-
board is ready, we'll be ready to present.
Got it.
Madam Chair, I'm gonna make a motion that we encumber the money into 2027 until we can get, like, Member Jefferson's point, till we get some kind of criteria, till we get how it's gonna be administered and all that, which we don't have. So my motion is encumber the money until 2027.
So into FY '27? Yes. Okay.
That'll give us.
They give us more time.
39, I second that, yeah, that'll give us some time. We can hold on to the money and then we can make a decision.
FY 26, 27.
26, 27.
Okay. That way we can get with
Okay.
them and make up some, figure it out. So we got a motion on the second floor.
Do we have a second?
I made that.
Okay, Councilman Carr made a second. Any discussion? I'm gonna allow you to say your
Well,
word.
I just wanted to address,
Let me say something. Okay, go ahead.
Wait a minute, discussion.
Okay, any discussion? I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hands. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes to the encumbered unanimously.
Mr. Reasonable just stepped
Julie
out.
Reasonable.
He stepped out.
Okay, let's move.
Next. Okay, next we have the consideration of approval of the Wiley Law Firm.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes.
I sent to you all via email today, and the quarterly invoices. I've been doing these quarterly. This is from January through April, legal invoices for the total of $80,050, and that's January 2026 for $19,300, February 2026 for $13,825, March 2026 $10,500, and April 2026 $36,425. You have the invoices in your emails, the itemization.
But, yeah, Madam Chair, I haven't had time to look at them, but if no other member has any problem, I don't have a problem
I don't
with
have
it.
a
I would
problem.
hope that if we find something wrong, we can go back and look at it, but.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve invoices.
We have a motion by
Attorney Wiley.
We have a motion by Mr. Carr. Do we have a second?
I have a friendly amendment. I'm gonna second it with the appraisal that once we look at it, as we find some discrepancies, we can take those out. Because we haven't had a chance to look at it. But for the stuff that we agree on, I wanna get our money.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, second.
Okay. Have a second by Mr. Wyatt. Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
This was sent to us at 4:28 PM. I have not had the opportunity to review it, and I think that for anything that comes before the board, regardless, I just think it's appropriate for us to have ample time to take a look at it. And so at this point, I just don't feel prepared to support it or deny it because I haven't had a chance to look at it. So.
Okay. Yes,
So my concern is with the invoices, the formatting. We previously would receive what the total billable hours were. And I don't know if the formatting has changed from the past, but we would receive the billable hours for each item or whatever that was transmitted. But I just see a total, and I just see the months, you know, the timeline from the first of the month to the end of the month. But normally, if you're doing an invoice, you would have the date itemization and what you were working on and your billable hours with your rate. So I don't see that on the invoice.
Organizations are in there.
Okay,
Just a question.
Mr. Carr.
This is a quarterly, was this a 3-month invoice? What is it? How many months?
This is 4. These are quarterly, but it's the cover page has the total amount, and then behind them are the itemizations.
Just a quick question. This is 4 months. So the last bill was for 4 months before, right?
It was, yes, 3 months. It was 3 months. I believe it was 3 months. I did 3 months, and then this is 4.
So they change sometimes?
Yes, they do. I usually try to do 3 to 4 months at a time.
Oh, Chair Willis, I think there was a motion on the floor.
I think they're in discussion.
We had discussion.
Oh, discussion.
We had discussion now.
Okay, got it.
And,
One thing I would suggest, I'm fine with it. I know there's a lot of work that's going on that needs to get done. We gotta get it done. If we got bills coming in, if it's every 3 months, there's a bill, great. If it's every 4 months, there's a bill, great. But if it's consistent, I can just ask a simple question. Okay, this is 3 months here, it's X amount of dollars. Well, what was last month's 3 months? Well, those X amount of dollars, if it's around the same bit, and we know we're pretty much on point here, unless it's something drastic for the next 3 months. But if we got a different set of months here going or whatever, I think that's, maybe your second covered that though. But basically, you said, but your friendly was,
yes.
what was it?
I'm fine with waiving.
I would like to, Councilman, if you also amend your motion to say that these bills should be turned in every 3 months, so we can create that consistency.
Yeah, let's keep it consistent.
I can do every 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and that solves that. We'll
Yes.
know if we write it, you know, if we write it in the range we're supposed to be in.
Yes, sir.
Well, you do, Attorney Wiley do a lot for this board, and we thank you. But all in favor, by raising hands?
No.
And then
Oh, you, any discussion? Okay.
we'll go back.
Yeah, because I'm very sensitive to other members' position. So while I was 100% for it, I have a little concern that at least one member or two is, well, one concerned about they haven't had a chance to look at it, and it was sent to us late. So I'm gonna go on record as saying, I'm probably gonna vote for it this time, but next time, remember, we get something at 4 o'clock,
Excuse me.
and the member ain't had time to read it, I'm not gonna vote for it. Yeah, that's why I'm making my point. Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I stepped away to the restroom and didn't hear the motion.
Okay, can you do the motion one more time?
It's Councilman Carter's motion.
Okay, Councilman, you changed.
My motion was to approve the billing from Attorney Wiley for the past 3 months, 4 months.
And those were the invoices sent via email.
Yes.
With a couple of caveats. You had one and I had one.
Yes, with the every 3 months, and I'm gonna second it, but I'm gonna say during discussion, I probably won't do this again if we get a bill at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
We want to approve it, and especially when a member of the board expressed they haven't had time to really look at it. I'm just sensitive to that. So probably not gonna get my vote next time if this happens again like this.
Duly noted.
You ready?
Yeah, I got, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do the vote again. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
We have 2 abstentions.
So Chair Willis was 4, Board Member Wyatt was 4, Vice Mayor Karn was 4, Mr. Reasonover was 4, Board Member Jefferson was abstained, and Mayor Bianca Motley Broom was abstained. So motion passed.
Thank you. And, all right, now we have, next we have a motion to go into executive session.
Madam Chair, it will be for property acquisition, litigation, and personnel. Oh, I'm sorry. Real estate and litigation, pending litigation. Those are the two.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms.
Second. Second.
Second by, Board Member Reasonover. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. We'll take probably, maybe a 4-minute break. 9:05, we'll be back. Ready to go into executive session.
Did y'all see?